Oh, good morning, guys. How's it going? So, um, had a beginner dom who's dabbled in things a little bit, and they're basically saying that they're being new to dom, they have an experienced sub, and sometimes when it comes to playing, their mind goes blank, and then all their confidence disappears. Now, it happens, and one of the thoughts is welcome to being a Dom. Lots of pressure, constant worry, needing feedback. The slightest mistake you think can absolutely destroy your confidence, or someone makes a complaint when they didn't give you feedback and all sorts of other stuff. Um, it was brought about by this experienced sub coming out with a whole box of their own toys, and they just drew a blank. Probably would have been a good thing beforehand, before they came out with the box of toys. Okay, you got your box of toys, show them to me. But you can also incorporate that in play as saying, look, oh, here's his box of toys now. I wonder what we can do with this thing here. But here's the thing, it'll happen. Don't stress. Don't push it. You can slow the play down a little bit, while you think about things, or you can make a show of going through their box and teasing them with it till you come up with something, or see what kind of reaction that they have. And this is a new relationship, so you aren't expected to know everything, and you're not expected to come up with things all the time. It can't. It's not going to go smoothly. There's been many sessions, even with me being in dynamic for years, and in play it's like a kind of stop-start, kind of see how this feels. Okay, that's awesome. Here's something new. We'll try this. And then, okay, we've tried that new thing. Now let's go back to something that we know that really does things for you. And then we'll think a bit more about that new thing, about your reactions and how it went and all that sort of stuff. And that's why debriefing is important, and why I encourage it for many, many people. So not only is the negotiation, but the debrief afterwards. Now, part of the debrief is, as the same as with negotiation, is that don't be afraid to let them know exactly what you think and felt at the time, because if you don't, if you do things like, oh, I've just put up with it because I know it pleases you, then they're going to read your reactions wrong, so that when you're actually in distress and they push it too far, they think that you're actually enjoying it, because the reaction that you have, they're going to interpret as enjoyment. This is a problem, because then many people go back and say, oh, but I didn't consent to that. I didn't think it was going to be that hard, and all sorts of other things. And going, yes, but if you don't set that proper reaction and feedback early on, they're going to keep misinterpreting it throughout every time you play. At the outset, you could say, look, a lot of pain doesn't really do it for me, or a lot of this doesn't really do it for me. However, I will do it for you because I want to please you. Then they can go, right, this is their reaction from the outset, that they don't really like it, so I've got to watch it with how hard I go, how fast I go, and be especially diligent in the debriefing and talking to them afterwards to see how far I've pushed it and how fast I've pushed it. So, and don't be afraid to get verbal feedback even when you are in the middle of play. It doesn't have to be a questioning. It is a questioning thing, but it's also how you put it across. You could lose a bit of confidence, but the way you ask, you can make it a part of play, as I said, and that can enhance and bring about more ideas, more play, and get you more confident in what you're doing. So, yeah, the person is going to play with them again, obviously, because the sub is really eager for play. But just sort of really, get that feedback before, during, and after is always important. If you blank out, don't stress. It happens to everybody, particularly if you're new, because there's a lot of things that you've been put in situations which is different, and equipment which is different, and reactions which are different, and you don't know what the consequences of that is going to be, whether it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. So, as I said, don't stress about it. Get feedback, communicate, which is very important. Be upfront and honest. You can say that, I wasn't, you don't have to say, look, I've completely lost all my confidence when, this happened. You can say, look, I've not come across this, so I wasn't sure whether I've used it correctly. And an experienced will say, no, okay, well, this is how it's been used on me, and all this, and this is how I like it to be used. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to actually use it in that way. You can be inventive and improvise. As I said before with the previous one, where the sub says, oh, if I told you every detail, that, it would be boring because you're doing exactly what I said, and that's just not being dominant. And I'm like, well, no, it can still be the same thing. And you can actually do something almost exactly as they wished, but the time can be different and the attitude can be different. There's a whole variety of different subtleties that go into play: time, headspace, equipment, and what you do. So, this is a kind of a quick one today because, well, things are happening and I'm busy doing a lot of other stuff at the moment. Lots of things to do. I broke the back on a big thing a couple weeks ago, so just taking it easy, finding things up. Still looking more into the live aspect of it, trying to look out and see which live streaming systems are best. At the moment, this is doing for me, just going through Facebook, because it just seems easy. But looking at other things, given that there's a whole thing on the internet these days of not being able to express yourself and restrictions and all sorts of other stuff, and people just reading way too much into things that they really shouldn't. And that's a problem with flat text and a problem with not having face-to-face interactions, which is why when I do talk to my friends online, I like to try and do either a voice call or a video call whenever possible. Anyway, that's enough of that. Hope you guys had an excellent and awesome weekend and lots of kinky fun. I will see you later. Bye.